So the ETH price is on the move. All right, we're gonna look at that, where I think it's headed next. We're gonna look at some news updates that have happened in the crypto space since our live stream that we did yesterday. We do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel about 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Just turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel. You'll find out about those whenever we go live. We're gonna answer some of your questions and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, and smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. Last but not least, I think I'm saying this video is designed to be financial advice, and there's lots of scammers down in the comment section below. Just ignore them. Like, I'll never give you my phone number or ask you to invest with me. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Culture Highs, Automatic Beats, Jam Jitso, G-Star, Lee, Mikey, Wendy, Anthony, Van, Kaz, Kath, let's see here, Katarzina. I hope I'm saying that right. Some of the names are hard for me to pronounce quickly at a glance. So let's go ahead and jump into our update here. So the ETH price is on the move. All right, we're currently sitting at $3,550. And to me, it looks like ETH wants to break a new all-time high relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. So let's kind of break that down, tell you my thought process about why I think that, and actually look at some more advanced charts here. So let me just pull up TradingView. So ETH, let's talk about the assumptions behind why I think that ETH is wanting to do its thing pretty soon, okay? So first of all, let's start with the overall assumption that the overall market in crypto is on an upward trajectory, okay? And it's not just charts looking at that. Like, there's actually lots of fundamentals that, in my opinion, are really helping that momentum move forward, okay? We're seeing lots of adoption. We're seeing lots of usage for the actual technology itself underlying a lot of these protocols, especially on the Ethereum network. We see more interest in buying this stuff. Basically, a lot of people think that this entire space is going to get way bigger than it is today. There's all kinds of reasons why the fundamentals are driving the price forward, and the charts are confirming that. Okay, definitely want to look at it from that perspective first before we look at the charts, because you need both, and the fundamentals are more important than the TA, in my opinion. So that's the first major assumption. The second major assumption is we're already seeing this kind of appetite play out in the crypto markets and other major cap cryptocurrencies. People hungry to buy and for gains. Okay, we're seeing, excuse me, other major layer one blockchains break new all-time highs. Okay, we've seen that with Solana. We've seen it with Cardano. We've seen it with others. Okay, so the appetite is there to push the prices higher. And if you, in this environment where you see this appetite for, to push the prices higher, ETH has been relatively flat during this time. Okay, the entire market's kind of rebounded over this period right here. Let me just pull up past. Well, let me just do my chart. The entire market's definitely rebounded in this period of sort of late July towards early August, all right? And everything was very correlated during this time, but since then, ETH has been kind of boring when we've seen other, coins rip off to new all-time highs. And so that right there is a pretty good hint that ETH wants to do something, and that, there's people hungry for gains in this particular coin. And that just stands to reason. I've seen this play out multiple times over the life cycle of ETH, even in the past 6 months to a year, okay? We've seen ETH kind of be flat and boring for periods when the market was taking off, and then what happens next? I mean, ETH kind of makes a rip here. It did it here, it did it here, all right, it did it here. I can remember multiple times everybody's like, oh, the crypto market's moving and ETH is just a stable coin, it's just staying flat. Well, that's usually a pretty good sign that that was a good opportunity for ETH right before it took off, okay? So that is what I think is happening right here. Yeah, and it also stands to reason, because if you back up and you look at a very simple chart like this and you zoom out on a year time frame, ETH is still forming a parabola. Okay, so you can see this kind of you could literally just draw a parabolic curve through here. Now, of course, this was a big notch in that. You could say this is a deviation from the pattern to the downside, but we quickly recovered, and we're still on this kind of upward trajectory here. We're actually drawing a curve. And so same kind of thing on TradingView. You can see that curve here. Let me just zoom out to more of a year timeline. You can see that curve happening. Even, you can express it in linear terms and see it a lot easier. Or you can look at it in log. It looks more like a straight line, right? So that's what I think is going on with the Ether price. I would expect to see a new all-time high relatively soon on the grand scheme of things. And talking about the other fundamentals that are, here for ETH that I think can also be affecting this. Okay, so we talk about the ETH price and other cryptocurrency prices being very correlated to the actual active addresses on the network itself. It's a Metcalfe's law sort of thesis that I borrowed that pretty heavily from Raoul Pal. We talked about him a lot on this channel. Basically, the whole idea is that the more people use a network, that typically has an exponential relationship to the cryptocurrency prices or an exponential effect on the cryptocurrency price itself. And we're just seeing lots more ETH adoption, okay? We're seeing the NFT explosion continue to take place on top of the Ethereum network. We've got layer 2 scaling solutions that are shipping. We talked about Arbitrum, which actually went live yesterday. We're talking about that a little more. We've got EIP 1559, which is burning ETH, which is having some impact on the price, and a lot more. Okay, so these are all things that are very bullish for ETH in terms of its fundamentals, additionally to the crypto space overall. Okay, so that's where I think ETH is right now. That's where I think it's headed next. And so now it's time to sit back and enjoy the ride. Somebody said if I buy ETH, I guess to hold, am I going to get charged gas fees? It depends on where you buy it. Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's look at the next update that I want to talk about today. So let's see here. So yesterday we just talked about Arbitrum layer 2 scaling solution launching on top of the Ethereum platform yesterday. So Arbitrum, now is officially open for business. And there's a couple of things that you need to know about this. Okay, I just think we didn't quite cover in the stream yesterday, but I want to talk about them. But first of all, just to recap, Arbitrum is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. It's a second layer that's built on top of the Ethereum network that makes it faster and cheaper to use. It basically take a lot of the transactions and put them in a different environment, and then those are initially settled back on top of the main Ethereum chain. Okay, so basically, we have a lot of applications that are now launched on top of Arbitrum. I mean, the real big thing about this is that the whitelisting is gone. So that's really something that happens whenever you launch these layer 2s. Typically, it's a beta software, so they'll whitelist certain people to participate and exclude others just to get it started. Now, that being said, Arbitrum is still in beta, so there are some things that are not fully featured yet for this environment. That's something you have to know before you get into it. So basically, there is a speed limit, all right? So there's a gas limit per second, all right? So 80,000 units of ARB gas per second. So if the whole point here is Arbitrum actually could run into some scaling pains in the short term that will not make it as fully awesome as it can be later on, okay? So that's something you need to know if you bridge over to Arbitrum and actually try using it and you say, hey, this isn't as fast as I thought it was, or, whatever, then that's why, okay? But these are things that will definitely get better over time. So that's one thing. The other thing is, whenever you're bridging funds like this and going into a beta environment, there are significant risks involved, especially because this is a brand new environment. So this is always something you want to watch out for, not be bridging money that you can't afford to lose in a situation like this, because you know it's going to happen. And if something did happen, I would expect it to be rectified, especially because this is something that's very early and it's very experimental, okay? And some people say, that's not very decentralized. Well, it's not decentralized, but it's not intended to be 100% decentralized at the beginning. You see this in crypto a lot, where something is less decentralized, takes a lot more trust to use it initially, and then it becomes more decentralized over time. And of course, you have to trust that process is going to play out, but that's sort of the nature of these layer 2s. So there's also a bug bounty program. So if you are if you're a skilled auditor, I believe Arbitrum has a $1 million bug bounty. So if you can find a bug, get a pretty nice payday. Yeah, so you do have to pay gas fees in order to get onto Arbitrum. That's one of the downsides. But the where I see this headed long term is basically being able to use centralized exchanges to get onto layer twos. So like if you buy ETH on an exchange, you could just withdraw it onto a layer two. If you buy ERC20 token, you could withdraw onto a layer two and vice versa. Okay, so things are still going pretty crazy in the NFT space. And something I saw was pretty cool yesterday. So CryptoPunks creator Larva Labs signs with major talent agency UTA. So this is pretty cool. So UTA is an international entertainment firm. They have a pretty impressive list of who they represent. So like Johnny Depp, Wes Anderson, a bunch of different Hollywood clients, actors, filmmakers, stuff like that. They're looking to represent digital talent shaping the world of content and changing the face of entertainment. Okay, so anyways, they signed up with UTA, and the whole point here is that NFT projects can't. It's like trying to place talent in really notable places. So the whole idea is that these NFT projects like CryptoPunks and MeBits or Autoglyphs could appear on different types of media like film and television. So like you could start seeing punks appear in TV shows, punks appear in movies. Okay, so this is pretty big for NFTs because number one, it shows the demand, you know, that we even see something like this. Number two is, you know, once you start seeing this stuff pop up in television, that's going to bring awareness of the technology and awareness of NFTs and in general just up to a next level. All right. So think about it this way, like think about any time you've seen like a Netflix film about something you never knew existed, like some Netflix, you know, biopic or something like that. How do you say that word? Biopic, about somebody who had a really interesting life that you'd never heard of before. And then you go learn about it and you kind of go down that rabbit hole. Or like, you know, some sort of event like the Netflix documentary about like the Fire Festival or whatever, right? You might have never heard of it until you watched the Netflix documentary, and then it might have, you know, sent you down a rabbit hole that you never expected to go down. You can see the same type of thing happen with like NFTs and crypto, which should be next level. Be awesome. So okay, so the next thing I saw yesterday at Pop was pretty interesting. Speaking of NFTs and life-changing opportunities, I saw this pop up on Twitter yesterday, so I figured I'd comment on it, and I wanted to bring it back up on the live stream today because I think it's pretty interesting. Because I know other people be out there who are watching this who have probably done similar things, and what I think is a effective strategy for this. And if you're not in this situation right now, you might be in this situation eventually. You know, if you've been watching these videos for a long time and you've bought some cryptocurrency, you might make some life-changing money. And so here's an example of this that I saw, and I kind of gave this person some advice on what I think they should do next based on their current situation. So this person was saying that they make about $30,000 a year, have $2,000 in their checking account, and drive a 2007 Ford Fusion. They said today they sold and bought over $380,000 worth of NFTs in one day. So it feels like he's leading a double life, or she. I'm assuming it's a he. I think I saw a he in his Twitter profile. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. So as I was saying, great work. And here's what I would personally do next based on your situation. So, you know, if you could, I'm just going to talk to this sort of like as a general audience. Let's say that you did this. I'll kind of give the advice to you. So if you had similar types of results, let's say you made, a similar amount of money, you know, give or take a certain amount, definitely take some profits. Like at that level, you've made life-changing money. If you only have $2,000 in your bank account, you only make $30,000 a year. $380,000 would be life-changing. So that being said, like $380,000 is probably not going to let you sit on the beach for the rest of your life. So, you know, if you had that kind of money and got a huge leap forward, I would probably take the next step and use some of that money, reinvest it back into yourself. Because at the end of the day, $80,000 investment into something that's really solid long term could, of course, yield significant gains. But what could yield a really amazing significant gains in the short to midterm will be taking some of that money and reinvesting it back into yourself. And that's what I always say to people who don't have a lot of money invest in crypto. Of course, I think the skills are a better investment for most people in the first place because it can fix your cash flow problem. And so if you made that kind of money, you could take some of that, buy yourself some time, literally just some short period of time to reinvest back into your own skills, because you can learn a high income skill like blockchain and fix that cash flow long term. So, at that level, you could realistically 3 to 5 extra income. And you'd be working with tech you're already passionate about, especially if you've been researching NFTs, you understand how to use smart contracts. Maybe you've been all on Etherscan. You already have a huge leg up, okay? So especially if you're able to buy back some time with some life-changing gains like that, you'd be able to learn way faster because you could devote all day to learning, okay? And then, you don't have to sell all of it. You could keep some of it in there. But if you significantly increase your monthly income, you'd be able to buy back into your investments quite fast. I realize the same opportunity may not be there once you end up making that kind of money, but at the end of the day, I think you're going to get way more out of fixing your cash flow problem. Because the likelihood that, let's say you got 380K in there right now, the likelihood that at this level is just going to 10x, I don't think is super high in the short term. So if you take some of it off the table, then you can reinvest back into yourself, and then you won't have to live 2 lives anymore. Basically, you can just live one life in the crypto space. And if you have really high, solid, high in demand, solid skills, then it's a pretty good bet to put all your eggs in this basket, because, the industry is taking off like a rocket ship, and, this talent is essential to moving the space forward. And I don't see the demand drying up for that anytime soon. So he actually replied. He says he can dig it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. See if he takes any of that advice. Sometimes it's hard to take some chips on the table when you think that, it's just all going to get more, it's all going to go higher. But as history has shown us, nothing moves up in a straight line forever. Somebody says sell the car and buy Ether. Okay, so we got some questions in the chat here. So let's see here. Someone says take profits, the market likes to take them back. Yeah, it definitely does. Somebody says when I say no financial advice, it is financial advice. No, because I didn't tell you what to do. Basically, I told you my opinion on where I think the ETH price is headed, but I did not tell you what to do. So that's not financial advice. Now, I did give this person here career advice. That's a different story. Somebody says big, then yes, 5K. Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're gonna see a massive dump like that. Could be wrong, but I doubt it. Best place to buy Ether. I guess if you don't have, if you don't have any funds in the ETH space right now, I guess I'm saying if you don't own any crypto, I personally recommend Coinbase. Another big benefit of Coinbase right now is that they're now a publicly traded company, so they have a pretty significant reputation to uphold. It's a good question. Since we can generate one by one NFTs on OpenSea via Ethereum and Polygon blockchain, then why should we create a separate smart contract? I guess what they're saying is, if you're just doing like a point and click NFT generation on OpenSea, so I mean, you're going to have a higher level of customization if you create your own smart contract. You could also the other, because and part of that is like, let's say you wanted to do an NFT drop where you let people mint the NFTs from scratch. Well, then basically you would have to create your own smart contract to do that. That's what I mean by the advanced customization. Is there one central source of available NFTs that I know of? So an easy way to do this would just be look to see what's listed on OpenSea. Who gets gas fee from transactions that are not completed on OpenSea? Some miners. Specifically, Venmo is giving $5 free when you buy $5 of crypto. PayPal giving $25 when you buy $25 of crypto. FYI. So I didn't know that. All right, so let me check on one other thing here. So this is something else that I saw floating around yesterday that I think people are excited about, but we'll see if it actually ends up really making a difference. So Twitter appears to be adding the ability to tip using Bitcoin. So this is not 100% confirmed yet, but basically, according to reports, Twitter appears to be testing out tips using Bitcoin on the Lightning Network. So it will be using Bitcoin Lightning app Strike. Okay, so Twitter is seemingly trialing the ability to tip using Bitcoin per multiple reports. According to Mac Rumors, the current Twitter beta indicates that this service is being tested, while mobile developer leaked an image of what the service should look like. So according to reports, the tipping function will use Lightning Network to make smaller Bitcoin payments. It will support custodial and non-custodial wallets. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, I think it's, it definitely, spreads Bitcoin awareness and adoption. But, tipping on social media hasn't really taken off in other experiments in the past. So I'm not sure why it would necessarily take off on Twitter here. I mean, and maybe, but I don't see this being like a viral Bitcoin use case or anything like that. It's cool. I hope it's successful. I hope it works out. But I'm not super, like, it's not something I think is like a major leap forward or something like that. Somebody says, is it bad for the project ETH if the price of ETH keeps rising? No, I don't think so, because I mean, I think what you're implying there is that the fees are going to get higher if the price of Ether goes higher. So there's two things that affect the gas fees on ETH: the price of ETH itself, and then the demand for the network. So the two are very correlated. The more people use Ethereum, the price of ETH tends to go up. Okay, and correlated. And then when more people want to use Ethereum, excuse me, sorry, the gas fees go up because that's just what happens. It's an auction based model. Like whenever more people are trying to make transactions, then the gas price increases. Supply and demand. So you're saying basically is if the ETH price goes up, is it bad because then the gas fees will go up? Not really, for lots of reasons. Number one, people are paying the gas fees because the financial gain that they're making by using the Ethereum network vastly outweighs the transaction fees. And number two, but that is pricing out smaller players, right? But we do have layer twos basically rolling out now and starting to gain significant adoption. So if those layer twos help this problem dramatically, then I don't see the fees being an issue for smaller players as that problem gets better. Okay, and then once you have the merge happen and proof of stake get turned on with layer 2 scaling solutions, is going to make it a lot faster. It's already going to be faster with layer 2s, but you'll get an additional like 2x bump with well, not once the merge happens, but whenever sharding happens, which will be a little bit later. Somebody says the gas is going to keep rising because of insane NFT wars in the next 15 days. Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see, a live biz card. If you have a customer support question, you can reach out to Gregory at dappuniversity.com. We'll get you taken care of. Let's see here. Does it need to come with a better name for sharding? I've seen people say that in the past. I think I'm saying sharding, but it's sharding. Yeah, totally. So that's what it is, though. That's a computer science term, sharding, to break things up in multiple shards. The sharded database. Yeah, totally. That's where it comes from. Somebody says, can miners deny a transaction to the blockchain if they can collect a gas fee? No, because they only collect it whenever they mine the block. Once the transaction is actually included. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. You know, if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I should become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp.